public, but I guess my advice to European leaders and anybody else would be to take the President of the United States seriously. What has he said about Greenland? Set to the side the crazy overreactions that I've seen from the press and from certain people in Europe. What has the President said? Number one, Greenland is really important, not just to America's missile defense, but to the world's missile defense. Number two, we know that there are hostile adversaries that have shown a lot of interest in that particular territory, that particular slice of the world. So what we're asking our European friends to do is to take the security of that landmass more seriously, because if they're not, the United States is going to have to do something about it. What that is, I'll leave that to the President as we continue to engage in diplomacy with our European friends and everybody on this particular topic. And
U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered America's elite special forces to quietly begin preparing for a scenario few believed possible: a military invasion of Greenland. According to multiple diplomatic and security sources cited by the Daily Mail, Trump directed senior commanders within the Joint Special Operations Command to draw up contingency plans to seize the vast Arctic territory, citing fears that Russia and China could move in first. Top U.S. generals are reportedly pushing back hard, questioning both the legality and political fallout of such an operation. Sources say the Joint Chiefs of Staff believe an invasion of Greenland would violate international law and lack any congressional mandate. One diplomat described the internal battle bluntly, saying generals are trying to deflect the president with alternative missions, comparing the situation to dealing with a 5-year-old. Instead of Greenland, military leaders have allegedly floated less explosive options, intercepting Russian ghost ships used to evade sanctions, or even striking Iran, anything to steer Trump away from the Arctic plan. But hawks inside Trump's inner circle are growing bolder. Officials say advisors led by Stephen Miller feel emboldened after what they see as a successful U.S. operation to capture Venezuela's leader, Nicolás Maduro. Now they argue the moment is right to move quickly before Moscow or Beijing expands its footprint in the Arctic. Sources also suggest domestic politics may be driving the urgency. With midterm elections approaching and fears Republicans could lose control of Congress, Trump may be eyeing a dramatic foreign policy move to shift focus away from economic anxieties at home. The consequences, however, could be historic. European diplomats warned that any U.S. move against Greenland would put Washington on a collision course with Europe and could trigger the most severe crisis in NATO's history.
I still don't believe in the assumption that the United States will take military action to take control of Greenland, an option that I clearly would not share. I've already put it in black and white, but I don't think it would suit anyone. I don't think it would suit the United States of America either, so to speak. And this has also been reaffirmed in the statement signed by the main European leaders. It must also be said that at present, we say the hypothesis of an intervention to take control of Greenland has been excluded by both Marco Rubio and Donald Trump himself. I think that the Trump administration, with its methods, let's say which are little assertive, very assertive, is focusing above all on the strategic importance of Greenland and of the Arctic area in general, for its interests and for its security. I would do more to prevent, and the best way to prevent problems that could take us much further is to ensure that there is a serious and significant presence of the Atlantic Alliance, or NATO, in the Arctic, and also in Greenland, and that we can therefore together respond to a concern that I understand on the part of the United States, which is that of not having excessive interference from other actors, who could also be hostile.
Internal wargaming exercises reportedly outline a worst-case scenario, the collapse of the alliance from within. Some European officials suspect this may be the point. They believe hardline MAGA figures around Trump see Greenland as a lever, a way to force Europe to abandon NATO if Congress blocks a formal U.S. exit. Meanwhile, Greenlanders are pushing back. All 5 political parties in Greenland's parliament have issued a rare joint statement rejecting U.S. pressure. We don't want to be Americans. We don't want to be Danish. We want to be Greenlanders, they said, insisting their future must be decided at home. Trump, however, remains defiant. He has warned the United States will act the easy way or the hard way, arguing Russian destroyers, Chinese warships, and submarines are already circling the region.
Question. How much money are you thinking of giving people in Greenland to get them on board with a possible U.S. takeover?
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor, okay? I would like to make a deal, you know, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too. I have to tell you, and you know they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but you know the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also, but we need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger, there are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. Please, go ahead, ma'am.
Mr. President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. And, you know, with a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't. Go ahead.
Mr. President, one, can you respond to that? And two,
Yeah, it was an amazing report. The most amazing thing is government jobs are way down, and yet the unemployment or the employment numbers are very good. We've gotten rid of tremendous numbers of federal government jobs. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And yet the employment numbers are very good. They're really getting better. But now we have all those people to work in the private sector for a lot more money. I think that's one of the very big things. The other thing is at 5.4%. And remember, this is after we had a shutdown. And that shutdown had an impact because the concept of the shutdown, even though it's before, people knew we were going to be shutting down. A lot of bad things happened. And by the way, on January 30th, you may have another shutdown. We'll see what happens. But I think the numbers, Caitlin, were really amazing. Look, to think about 5.4%, nobody thought that. They thought it was going to be 2%. And you know what it is? It's tariffs. And it's also November 5th. We had a great election, a great election. Our country was dead 1.5 years ago. And now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I hope you guys were impressed. 5.4%. And we haven't even really transitioned yet. There's no reason it can't be much, much higher than that. Yeah.
first off, can you respond to the manufacturing
Let's
number?
give CNN a chance. You know, they've been fighting
also,
so hard to get back into the mainstream.
Mr. President, you posted some numbers actually on Truth Social last night. People saying you posted the job data early when you're not supposed to obviously share it till the next morning. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I don't know. If they posted them, I said post them whenever you get a chance. I don't know. They gave me some numbers. When people give me things, I post them. But the numbers are amazing. Yeah, please.
How does the administration plan to distribute the money from the Venezuela oil sales? Is it obviously you say it's going to go into these controlled accounts.
Yeah.
Would it go back to Venezuela in a
Yeah.
direct payment? Is it going through these goods? How do you plan to do that?
Well,
And
we
then I have
want to
a
make
second
sure
question.
that Venezuela can survive. You know, Venezuela needs money, and we're going to make sure that they get money, and we're going to get money, and the oil companies are going to make something for the work they do, and they're going to get back their money. We're devising a formula, but it won't be so much of a formula. It's going to be what they need. We're going to take care of what they need. There'll be plenty left over. We're going to have a lot of money left over. And the money left over is going to the United States of America, and the oil companies are going to be very happy. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr.
Would the administration offer a backstop to these oil companies for like financial guarantees, some sort of backstop, if the country did destabilize again?
That's a very interesting question. Using the word backstop, I haven't heard that word in a long time. That was at the Wharton School of Finance I last heard. That's a good term. We ought to use it more often. I hope I don't have to give a backstop. I'm just, look, these are very smart people, the smartest people. They're not only in oil and business. These are the biggest companies in the world sitting around this table. They know the risks. I mean, there are risks. We're going to help them out. We're going to make it real easy. They're going to be there for a long time. We're going to be there together for a long, long time. And they're going to be taking the oil, and they're going to be bringing oil prices down. They're going to make a lot of money. They're going to get their money back. They're going to be safe. The people of Venezuela are going to be big beneficiaries, and the United States of America is going to be a big beneficiary for what we've done. And you know, one other thing I might say, it's also very big for national security because, again, just like Greenland, we can't have China or Russia occupy Greenland. We can't have China or Russia occupy Venezuela. And if we didn't do what we did, China or Russia would have been in Venezuela. I think I can, where's Mr. Chevron? So let me ask you, they would have been there if we didn't do this. Do you agree with that?
They certainly have a lot of economic interests in country. There's absolutely no argument about that.
They were trying to be there. I mean, you know, we had a Russia, I guess sort of I call it a semi-Russian ship yesterday that we took over, and Russia decided not to defend that ship against us. It's a big movement. The ship was loaded up with oil, and we took the oil, and it came out of that port. But Russia would be there or China would be there. And we want them to be there for a different reason. We want them, do you people agree? In particular, China, they need a lot of oil. Russia doesn't need so much, but Russia was there anyway. But I assume you agree that China would like to be doing a lot of business there by buying oil. And I want to just tell President Xi and President Putin, but more so in this case, President Xi, because they do need a lot of oil. And we are open for business in the United States, and we are open for business in Venezuela, right?
Denmark is now on alert. Officials in Copenhagen have warned their troops are under orders to defend Greenland if attacked, as European leaders accuse Washington of openly entertaining a military confrontation against its own NATO ally. What began as rhetoric is now being planned behind closed doors. And for the Arctic, for NATO, and for the global order, the stakes could not be higher.